Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Such a pleasure to be here. I always love being around people like you who are talented, enthusiastic, and passionate about what you do, as I am. You know, years ago when I was a little girl, I was brought up in the movie business in Hollywood, and my birthday parties were at Disney and places like that, and it's never gotten out of my system. I'm still involved in how do you position a movie, how do you position a company, how do you position a book, how do you position a product. And I started in the advertising business, first of all in Chicago, advertising, marketing, and public relations. And then I moved into positioning self-published authors when the digital press came into being, when we didn't have to go get an agent and get a publisher and have to print 3,000 books. I'm telling all this for a reason, because when you are a book publisher and an independent publisher, you don't have the luxury of a whole team of people around you like you do if Random House picked you up, that do all the things for a book that are necessary to make it rock and roll, really. And so what I did is I put together a team of experts to help everybody make sure that their book got some traction and everybody understood what the book was really about so they could actually buy it. And I've brought a bunch of samples here, some befores and afters, but basically, I'm going to forget these notes because I just want to talk to you. I really care about you, and the problem with most people is they talk too much about the details of the work. It's really the passion that matters, and the tagline and the positioning chapter that makes people feel something. That's what you want them to do. You want them to feel something. All the facts are really good, and you should continue to do that. Not a problem at all. But basically, if you position yourself with heart, then you're going to get further than if you just say, I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that. And that makes a difference. Most of the people that I know can't do it for themselves. I wish they could. We all wish we could. Sometimes it's better to have like an ad agency type person to help position you with what it is that you want the people to know, so that you can actually get people to buy your service, take your classes, buy your CDs, get healed, whatever it takes. So that's the important thing. So I'm going to read you my positioning statement. I'm going to tell you what we say about me. I position people for greater success with their product, service, business, or book. I do that by providing a killer tagline and promo description that communicates the benefits of what they offer to their target market in a way that is motivating to their audience. This creates a solid foundation that they can build all their future advertising and marketing efforts like website, business card, etc., and so on. So the Reid Creative Group was created because all of a sudden I realized that the same positioning that we do for authors can be done for people who have small business, people who don't have a marketing department, people who don't have an advertising team, people who don't have a lot of money even, you know, and that really want to make sure that their message gets out there and gets heard. So in addition to the book shepherding, and I'm going to show you a bunch of books and explain how this all works in your businesses as well, because it's all the same thing. What we all do is what we want the people that we love and that we care about, that want us, to use us, hire us, and not be overwhelmed with too much verbiage, but to be motivated to buy what we have to sell. So you may have a great book, product, or service, but until the people you want to sell to understand the benefit to them, you will not receive the maximum positive response to your message. At the Reid Creative Group, we have years of experience and a track record of effectiveness in getting to the heart of what our clients offer, and then we communicate that with a sharp tagline and promotional copy that's concise, clear, and motivating. And then these elements position you so you can use that once you have it in all your promotions, in all your advertising, your website. What happened to me was I realized that there are a lot of people who have so much to say, and when you go to the website homepage, there's too much information on there. And I think that the description of what the company is can be written in such a way to make people want to dig deeper into the site, but mostly we want them to know who you are, what you look like, what you're going to talk about, what your product is, and do that in such a way that motivates them to want to buy your service or use you. It's too wordy. Most people are too wordy about what they do and what they say. So I want to say here, how many of you are in business? I think I heard you, so most of you are, I guess. So how many of you would like to have more business or more sales? Yay. Okay, so you know, there was a guy named David Ogilvy years ago. He was the father of advertising many, many years ago, and he said you can advertise and you can market, but if you're not positioned properly, it's hard to get people to understand what it is that you have to sell and what it is that they should buy for you. So, you know, it's interesting. Do you have thousands of dollars to hire a very sophisticated marketing company? Because what they'll do is focus groups and all kinds of wonderful things that they do for the Fortune 500 companies and things. So I created this for the smaller company so that we can actually do things for you. At the end of the day, you're not going to have what should you be doing, what is your marketing plan, all of that. It's really just positioning you so that when they go to your website, they'll see the copy and they'll say, I want that. I want to use Burke's information. I want to use your information. I want to print with you. I want to do that. And it's really important to do that. And sometimes people can't do that for themselves, and I have a team of people that can help you. So I guess the question I want to say is this: what I want you to ask yourselves is this: what makes you different from your competition? Just think about these things. Create a punchy tagline and clear promotional text based on the benefits of what you have to offer. And this is what you have to know. Who's your market? What language do they speak? The features of what you offer. The benefits of what you offer. The difference between features and benefits. I don't know, what's the difference between your book and other books on the same subject? So these are questions that you want to ask yourself. And then I want you to know that when you are a book shepherd like me, and I've been a book shepherd for like 15 years, I have an opportunity to read the books, and then I get a chance to know what they're about. And all the clients that I've had usually try to do their own positioning, and sometimes it's really hard because they're too close to themselves. They can't see themselves, and they have no one to hire because there's no ad agency out there just for a book or just for a company. So I want to show you a couple of examples of befores and afters, and even Patty, so that you can know kind of what I do for people and what my team does for people. And then there's ways that you can do this yourself. So I want to just read you a little bit about Pat. I'll read you. Patty said to me, well, if you're going to be talking about this, why don't you position me? So I said, okay. So I have a copywriter that I work with. Now we know that Patty is brilliant and fabulous and famous and successful and all that, and her marketing materials didn't say that, at least not in my opinion. So she's going to China. So we decided that we were going to write something that would befit her trip to China. So there's a Chinese proverb says, only he that has traveled the road knows where the holes are deep. Chinese proverb. When the road from where you are to where you want to go looks long and arduous, you need a guide who has traveled that path. If you're a CEO seeking to expand to the next level and beyond, Patty de Dominic can get you there. She has walked that road herself, knows where the pitfalls are, and has established a network of resources that can assist in smoothing the way. Then it goes on to this, and I can show it to you later on, but she's received this outstanding recognition, and then it talks about that. But then the last paragraph is just what I love, and the writer that I use is so brilliant. I'll show you some other stuff that he's done. Patty de Dominic built her stellar career helping high-achieving individuals and companies from startups to billion-dollar U.S. corporations meet and exceed their objectives. Where do you want to go?
What do you think? Great. You do a good job?
So that's instead of, oh, I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that. You have to make people feel. Every time I read that, I get like this chill feeling because I know you and I know how brilliant you are, and it's really important that people know that as well. So, you're welcome. Promotional material is key, and I don't think it has to be a big deal. I don't think you have to go have a focus group or anything. You know what you do, and then the people that you work with, if you work with my team and I, will find out what you do, and then we can write to that, and I think that's important. So how much time do I have? I would like to show you some examples of how that works. And Gloria Kay's here, and I just finished her book, so I might as well start with Gloria. Yeah. I do? Okay, good, because I have a lot of books to show. And it's really important because I can talk all day long, but I want to show you. And I think that's the key. The Reid Creative Group is brand new, but the book shepherding is 15 years old. And I've been doing it a long time, and my clients are very successful. And I'm very grateful for that. So when I met Gloria, she had this book called Is There a Healer in the House, Black? And just a bunch of testimonials, and you know, it didn't look like it's the great thing, but we talked about it, and she's a brilliant healer. She is. She has a gift. She got it from her family, and she's been here 20 years, and I met Gloria when my dog needed a healing 20 years, however many years ago it was, a long time ago. I went to the office and the dog was healed. I mean, fabulous. So we met, and she said, will you help me with my book? I said, yeah. Healer's hands, healer's heart. It's because she has healer's hands. That's what she has. And the tagline is in-depth insights, practical techniques, and inspiring stories of success with non-traditional healing. You don't want to be too woo-woo here so that people are scared away from her, because sometimes people don't understand how that all works. But the headline, which is like the Patty to Dominic thing, is hope for those who need healing, inspiration for those who would heal. And I think the key to good positioning and good promotional copy is having a headline that's going to grab you where you live. You want people to feel you. So, and I think that works. I hope that you agree with me. It says, if you have any doubts about energetic healing, this book will dispel them. Filled with fascinating true accounts, many documented by medical doctors, it's a testament to the limitless possibilities of this healing method. I won't read the whole thing, but the difference between this and this is huge. And now Gloria has repositioned herself so that she's not a healer in Santa Barbara that does whatever she does. She now has, and she can tell you about it later, a whole world has opened up to her where she's going to be speaking, yes, and all that good stuff. So I feel very thrilled and proud. And we decided to do a picture of her in bright light because she's a beautiful woman, and the inside of the book is excellent. So that's positioning. That's what you can do for your marketing. You don't have to have a book to do this. You can do it without a book. So that's what that one is. Very important story. Okay. I met a man when I went to Dan Pointer's seminar in Goleta, and I learned how to be a book shepherd. People who wanted to be authors went there to learn how to self-publish. And I went there, and one day he said to me, they can write, but they don't know how to do the rest. You know how to do the rest. The great cover, the great tagline, the great title, the great about the book. Positioning, no matter what it is. So I met Steve Burt. He was a pastor in, I guess he was out in the East, 6'5". And he had a book called A Christmas Dozen by the Christmas Story pastor. I asked him, I said, what do you want to do? He said, I don't want to just be a little small town pastor. I want to be an author. I've got a lot of books in me, and I want people to understand who I am. I read the stories. They were like wonderful. They touched your heart. Fantastic. So we called him Steve Burt, Storyteller of the Heart. Changed everything for him, because it says Christmas stories to warm the heart. Now, when I met him, his artwork was done. So if you have artwork already, it doesn't mean that you have to change anything. We just have to get inside you, find out what it is you want, what do you want people to do, how do you want them to hire you, what can we make happen? So I said to him one day, because positioning is not just about a book, positioning is about your whole being, your whole life, your whole everything. So I said to him, where do you sell the book? He said, well, I go to a lot of these fairs outside, you know, where people are selling books and they're selling objects. And I said, I don't know, it was an inspiration. I said, what do you wear? He said, I wear cutoffs and socks, white socks and brown shoes and whatever. And I said to him, you know what, I think, because I'm very intuitive, so I said, I'll tell you what I want you to do. Go get a pair of khaki pants, get some Docksiders, get a navy blazer, you don't have to spend the money on Gucci, but get a nice belt and a Ralph Lauren like blue polo shirt, and change your look in the booth. And I called him later and I said, what happened? He said, it was amazing. He said, people treated me with such respect. It was a whole shift. He didn't think about it. He never thought about it. Positioning, clothes, things, where you go, what you do, how you present yourself. So anyway, to make a long story short, you can go to my website and see it. 11 and a half years later, he wrote to me and he said, who would have thought 11 and a half years later that I would win all these contests and write all these books, and my whole life has changed. And now he's an award-winning author and he's a happy guy. So that makes me happy too. And that's why I started the Reid Creative Group. And that's really the truth. How could I help people who are not authors, for example, to position themselves in a way that will make people want what you have? And that, I keep saying it over and over again, but that's really what I want for you. I want that to happen. Let me. Hi, everybody. Where's the camera? Hi, everybody. So happy that you're here. I hope I'm doing a good job.
Any tips for us if we end up doing it ourselves?
Yeah, I have tips. I have tips. Here it is. You don't have to hire me. The 5 things you need to do to know to create your positioning. Okay, number 1, what am I selling?
What am I selling?
What am I selling? What am I doing? What is it? Number 2, who am I selling it to? And what language do they speak? It doesn't have to be English or French. There's a language that people speak in where are the people who are in it's geek speak, what can I tell you? That kind of stuff. What are the features of what it is that you do, like your cards? What are the benefits to people who want your cards? And then the other one, number 5, says, what sets you and your product apart? And I think I can send you this. There's a new website, reidcreativegroup.com. If you want any information, just send it to me, and I'll send it back to you. For example, I also wrote down something else, too.
So tip number 1 was, people are selling.
What am I selling?
What am I selling? Okay.
Who am I selling it to?
Who am I, that's number 2?
Yeah.
Who am I selling it to?
And what language do they speak? For example, not French or English or whatever, but the language of the business. You want to speak in the geek speak of the business, whatever that is, if you're trying to attract the people who want what you have. And then what are the features of what it is that you have? If you're a videographer, for example, if you have a business expo, very important. What are the benefits of joining with the business expo? What sets you apart? Why you? You know, these are questions that you want to answer for yourself. And so, you know, if you decide you want to try a positioning statement, go ahead and see how it feels. You don't have to hire anybody to do it as long as you can figure it out yourself. You just don't want to tell everybody a long story about what your whole business is that bores them. You want to make sure that you tug at their heartstrings a little bit or make them, where's the girl who does the exercise? There she is, the dance exercise. Look at how enthusiastic you are in person. Being enthusiastic online, not just video, but in your writing, the tagline for whatever it is, and then the paragraph or two. In these times, we're fast, everything is fast, and everything changes, and Facebook changes, and it all changes. Hi.
He wants a selfie with you.
I'm honored. Thank you.
We don't know how to do that.
Am I doing all right? I must be doing all right. You want people to catch it. Let me tell you a story about Amazon.com and the book business. You know, we used to write back cover copy for books because we went to bookstores and people would look at the front cover, they'd look at the back cover, and then they'd flip through the pages and everything. Well, I discovered and devised something a while back where we do the back cover copy in the front matter of the book. So you're writing a book, Beth. You would say, this is the name of the book, here's the title, here's the subtitle, here's about Beth, and here's about the book description, no page numbers. I don't want to confuse you guys with all this, but the reason is if you have an ebook or a book on Amazon, nobody has a back cover to go to. So what you want to do is make sure that your information is in the front, so when they do the search inside, am I talking, you all know what I'm talking about. When they search inside, you want them to know, what is this book about? I want to buy that book. I want to download the book. I want to read the book. I want to talk to the author. It's really important. That's the positioning copy I'm talking about here. The paragraph or paragraph and a half or 2 paragraphs that makes them want to buy your book or want to use your service or want to be with you on whatever level it is. So what do I want to say? What else do I want to say about this? I want to show. Oh, you want the, oh. Okay, wait. What is it you're selling? Are you selling a service? What's the benefit to the consumer or the customer? What are the features? What are the benefits? What needs to be done? Like, for example, if you're selling an umbrella, is it a bright yellow umbrella? Does it work all the time? Is it hard to use? What is going to keep you free from the rain? I mean, whatever it is that you've got, tell them, because they can't guess. They can't guess. They want to know what's in it for them. If you go out in the cold and it's raining, will it keep your clothes dry? That kind of stuff. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But you can do it in a couple sentences, and you can do it in website copy. And the website copy can be translated into all your promotional copy. For example, a one-sheet. I know you all know what a one-sheet is. And If you have the one sheet done properly, then people will want to buy whatever it is you have using that. All of your business cards, the tagline for the business card, a little paragraph on a flyer, for example, and I have these to give you all.
Now, who needs a one sheet and why do they need a one sheet?
It depends on who you are. I mean, I'm a speaker, an author, a seminar leader, and now I have a new company. So I need a one sheet that's going to have bullet points to tell people what I do. Anybody in business needs a one sheet. If you have any reason at all to let the world know what you do, whether it's foreign students or people who want to have foreign students in their houses, you want to be sure, is that what happens with you? I don't remember. You have to make sure that they feel safe, comfortable, that it's all going to be good. That's a one sheet. You just say the name of the company, the tagline, the promotional copy, and how to contact you, and maybe a picture or two of whatever it is. And then put a video on the site. Put a chapter of a book if you have it. Put the positioning tagline. Does that make sense, everybody? What? Well, right now, there's a man named John Kramer who wrote a book called 1001 Ways to Market Your Book. And I just found out he has a list of 700 independent bookstores. What we used to do in the olden days is we used to take a paper one sheet, and try and give it out. But now we have an electronic one sheet that has to have the tagline, the name of the book, the all-important positioning statement, the book cover, and how to buy it and where to buy it and all that stuff. And then he creates the one sheet, and he kicks it out to 700 independent bookstores' emails. So that's one way. But we don't even have paper anymore, which is interesting, unless you're going to an event. And I don't even have a one sheet for you guys. What I have, and I did this in town, is a piece of paper that has my son did that, he's an artist. And it says, you may have a great book product, but until the people you want to sell to understand my positioning, right? And it's here. So I give this out. But it's on my website, and I just created a new website called Reid Creative Group, which I hope you all go to. It tells much more about the company, about me, about my background. And if I can help you in any way, I do a free 30-minute phone consultation about you to hear about what you have, what you need, and how, if anything, I can help. And it looks like I'm pretty much out of time, but can I just show another book?
Yes, and show the books, and Josh, be sure and get the books and the video later. And also, would you say the 5 tips again? I think you said you had 5 tips. I'd just like you.
5 tips?
People have been asking we lost track of the 5 tips.
Uh-oh. Who wrote down the 5 tips?
What am I selling?
Go ahead. What am I selling?
Who am I selling to?
What am I selling? Who am I selling to?
I got it. What language do they speak? That doesn't mean another language. It means the language of the business. What are the features? What are the benefits? And what set you and your product or service apart from other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing? I think that's really an important tip. You know, what makes me think that I can be Reid Creative Group? Well, because I love you all, and I want to help, and that makes me good at what I do because I hire people that can help me speak that for you. You know, that's the important thing. For example, is that Ayers Repairs over there? Hi. Well, you know, I went and had my car serviced at Ayers Repairs. I have to tell you that. And you don't mind if I do this, do you? No. So I loved it. They were white glove service. They really were. I call it concierge service because they took good care of me. The car was washed. It was done in a timely fashion. Everybody looked good. They were clean. They had great uniforms. So not like a normal car repair place. And I looked at her materials. It didn't say anything like that. Didn't say white glove service. Didn't say concierge. Didn't say anything. So I'm really hoping I'll get to help them do that. But for you, even if you don't hire somebody like me, tell people what is the difference. What makes Ayers Repairs so great and stand out so much? These are things that only you know, and somebody like me can find out about, and then have somebody write it with cleverness or creativity or things. I have to do this. This is really, really important. I'll tell a story about this one. Okay, so Holly Schlack worked as a at the foster care system in Cleveland, Ohio. A foster family killed their little boy and put him in a closet, foster child. She was so horrified that she wanted to write a book about it, so she wrote a book about it. And I was introduced to her. She wanted to call it the Marcus Feisel story because it was Marcus Feisel who was killed. And I said, nobody ever heard of Marcus Feisel. Who's Marcus Feisel? So I read the whole book, which I normally do, and we call it Invisible Kids, the Marcus Feisel Legacy, Invisible Kids. But the back cover copy says, Who Weeps for the Children? I'm making a point here. It's not that I want to read you all this stuff, but I want you to get it. If you feel it like I feel it, every so often a story hits the headlines, and for a brief moment, people awaken to the plight of a child in foster care. Perhaps there's some comfort in thinking the tragedy is an isolated incident. However, these stories are not uncommon. They are just not often told. So if you guys can write this kind of copy, I suggest you do it. If you can't, find somebody who can, and make sure the Who Weeps for the Children has to do with your story, or whatever it is you're saying, happy stuff. Like me, Reid's creative group is it's a happy place. So my tagline wouldn't be anything like this, but your tagline, Beth's tagline, is all about dance. She's the best at that. I mean, she's joyful. The woman is joyful. Her dance is joyous movement. And, everybody should know about her. That's my opinion. How am I doing? Can I say another one?
You have time for a couple of questions, but please repeat the question for the camera. And,
Okay.
You mentioned you were going to tell people how you changed your image, because this is what you were last year, but you still do this, right?
I'm a book shepherd, yeah. I'm a book shepherd for sure. Thank you. I'm always going to be one, because the independent book business is huge, and it's not going away. So people are writing books, and they need help. And so that's what my basic job is. And when I had this aha moment that said, why do I want to keep the light under a bushel, if you know what I mean, for this tagline stuff and the positioning stuff? It was like a God shot. I want to offer this to businesses too. Why not? Why not offer it to small businesses who cannot afford a big ad agency that's going to go out and have focus groups? Not that they were not worth it, but some people can't afford it. So
People might spend
hundreds,
$100
they,
$1
well,
million on that,
does
right?
anybody have any experience with, know about that? Because it's true.
Brenda does.
Brenda.
does. They can tell you all the costs.
Yeah, and I think that it's wonderful to have Brenda for people who can afford Brenda. But for the smaller people that can't, I want to help. And also, we don't do the same thing. Hers, I don't even know you yet, but I want to. But your stuff is it's a big deal, and it's intense, and you have all kinds of information and stuff like that. Mine is more, I don't know, personal, I guess you could say, yeah. Who Weeps for the Children, is what I do. Here's one. When I met Janet Thomas, her book was called Lemonade 101. I said, what? Lemonade 101. And she said she was going to have she went to a cover designer and said they put a picture of a pitcher and a couple of lemons on it. No, but she's a wonderful woman, and she's inspirational. And so we called it Lemons, Lemonade, and Life. Practical steps for getting the sweetness back when life goes sour. That's what I want you to know. It's okay. You don't have to hire anybody to do it. Just try to do it for yourself first, and see if you can. And if you can, fantastic. And if you can't, you know who to call.
That's so great. Okay, so anybody have any
Questions?
for Ellen? Ellen, be sure and repeat the question.
I will. Questions? Beth.
I just would love, positioning is actually a new word for me.
Oh, okay.
Since I'm not in the, I am in the industry, but not as thoroughly as you. So I wondered if you could just tell me the aspects of it and what it would be in general. What is that?
Positioning, I have it written down, but I'll just tell you. Beth wants to know what is positioning. Maybe the computer can tell you better than I can. But Brenda can tell you how to do it. In my opinion, positioning is letting the world know who you are the way you want to be seen. You can't say, I'm a dance teacher. You want to position yourself as joyous movement. And what does that really mean? So that everything that comes after the positioning, whether it's an ad or a class or whatever it is, has your stamp on it. You're positioned as that. So Donald Trump is positioning himself as a candidate and he's a character, no question about it, but you don't forget him. But we can position I'm positioning myself as the Reid Creative Group to help people with their positioning. Does that make sense?
So it's basically languaging, but it's languaging creates who you are so that you can present yourself and be understood at many levels.
Yes, and it's short.
And it's short.
It's short. It's not, you don't have to you don't have to have a whole paragraph and it takes forever. And we're too fast now. Everybody's young. They're young and they're fast and they don't want to wait and they want to boom, this is what I do and I can help you with what it is if you like what I have. And it'll help you in so many ways without having to have a major explanation.
You have to get the benefit off quickly because people don't have much
They don't have
attention
time.
span anymore.
They have no attention span.
Right.
You have to get them at hello. Who said that? What?
Isn't positioning also about not limiting what you do to a small environment, but, expanding it as much as you can?
The question is, isn't positioning what you do not limited to a small environment, but expanding? Is that what you're saying?
Just positioning yourself seems to me like you should broaden your horizon. To
Yes.
include as much of
Well, yes, and I would say yes and no, and Brenda can help me with this one. You don't want to tell them too much too soon, too fast. You want to get them engaged first, and then you can tell them all the rest, because women can tell you this. If you go to Saks and you try to smell more than 3 perfumes, you can't. You have to have a piece of coffee and sniff that because your smelling mechanism goes away. And I think it's really true in the business of life, in the business of positioning or copy. You can't give them too much if you try to tell them everything that you do, but you can do it with buttons. That's the beautiful thing about a website. You have the positioning statement, then you have the about you, whatever that is, and then you have a button. This is me doing the cards. This is me doing something else, because I know you do more than the cards. And this is me doing this and me doing that. But you don't want to have that in the positioning. The positioning is who you are creating all this wonderful stuff. Does everybody agree with me? Yeah, to who? To who do you want? Who do you want to buy? Who do you want to hire you? Who do you want to buy your stuff? Right? You have to do that. I'll get a better description and I'll put it on my website, and then you can all go take a look at that. But I didn't memorize it. That's the problem. But I know what it means.
I could give you an example.
Oh, please do. That would be fabulous.
And now, yeah,
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So the way to think about positioning is, it's like your fingerprint. What makes you stand out among all of your
I love her.
competitors? So when you think about like beverage categories, there's all kinds of drinks that you could drink. There's, 24-hour energy drink versus Red Bull. They're both energy drinks, but one is really more for like getting you through the day, 24-hour, and it's more about productivity. I'm going to be able to get through the construction job or the sales pitch, whatever it is. The Red Bull, that's much more about an energy drink for partying and extracurricular activities for young people. So those are both energy drinks, but they're positioned differently against themselves, and they're targeted at different people. And the same thing could be done for soda, for example.
That's right. Good. I'm glad she's
You
here.
also had a question, or do you have a comment, additional comment, Brenda?
Oh, I was interested in your services, Ellen.
Oh,
It sounds like you have a really good approach to helping people with their process. Do you
Yes.
also do the actual copywriting too?
no. I have a man who I've been working with for 15 years who's an Emmy-nominated screenwriter turned copywriter. And he has an uncanny ability to hear me. And it's an intuitive process, as you know. First we have to get to know you. I hear you. And then we discuss it together. If you have a book, I read it. If you have a business, I look at your materials. I talk to you. We have to find out who you are. Where do you live? What turns you on? What do you want to happen? And then he and I, in synchronicity, get together and start writing Who Weeps for Their Children or whatever it is. He probably could do it alone, but I like to do it with him, and he doesn't come out like I do. So we kind of work as a team. And then I have some other writers too, and they're all different.
Great. Yeah, copywriting is such an art and a specialty.
Yes.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody? Yes, Faisal.
When you're either, I'm positioning myself from, creating a tagline or trying to before I come to you for me. In that process, how many do you typically go through? Like, what is the process of creating that tagline? Is it you do it until it feels absolutely right, or is there a big trial and error? Make sure you do 10 before you choose one. What's the
Oh, I can tell you exactly how that happens with books. And this is a new company, so I don't know how long it's going to take with you guys. But we do the title of the book and the tagline simultaneously. And if the title's already there, then we do 25 taglines at least. And then my copywriter and I go through them and we say, well, this would be great, but then we have you, and then we do a 3-way conference call, or we look at everything and we talk about everything until you get to the aha moment. This is it. So no, at least 25. It's not like one tagline and that's it. It's a process. It's a wonderful, creative, intuitive process that works.
Well, great. Shall we give Ellen a hand and
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you.